Okay, today we got a pretty decent sized stack of comics. I should be able to get through them all without splitting it into two videos. But yeah, we got kind of a combination between comics and some oversized magazine style cartoon comic-y things. We're going to start out with a Halloween Comic Fest, the Adventures of Cthulhu Jr. and Dastardly Dirk. I thought I had this copy, but apparently must not have. And shit, my wife, found a bunch of books at 50 cents for 50 cents a piece, and so she picked them up at a library book sale. This is a fun story about this Dastardly Dirk character, his little skeleton buddy, and our Cthulhu character, kind of working against each other. And as Dastardly Dirk character kind of like has this or wants to have this evil minion style lifestyle, and he's trying to get in with all the other evildoers, and they're kind of like, well, we don't want him in our club, but he's got cookies. It's fun, all ages story. I think I have the original, but I just swore I had this Halloween Comic Fest issue. But yeah, those stupid little 50-cent stickers. They don't like to come off, of course, but that's fine. For the price, can't complain. Always a good read. You can always stick them in the free comic book boxes for kids to check out. Then Alien Black, White, and Red, or Black, White, and Blood. I reviewed number 2 and number 3 for some reason. Well, my number 1 issue never came because apparently I ordered one of 100 cover or something like that, and it got old, and I didn't get my copy, so I had stopped at my buddy's shop, and he had one set aside at the other shop, so I stopped there yesterday and picked it up finally. Got your first story, which is ongoing. It's ongoing throughout the issues. Basically, like I said in the other review of number 2 and 3 when I did it, it's basically all the same stories. And you basically got space home, a space station, a planet, something that has humans or robots trying to make a livable place, and or they're using it for scientific research or whatever. And of course the aliens appear and wipe everything out. This one, same thing. You got kind of like a Halo style space station. It looks like it's gonna be one giant round device station type thing. They have a water area, which I don't know why. And it's got the glass, I'm assuming, protecting everything, giving them atmosphere and stuff. Yeah, they got all the different sections: the farming section, the research section, the water section, all that. Then they got an area that's contained, closed off, and they're like, well, we got to get in there, see who's in there, see if there's anybody alive. And of course, when they do that, the doors open and evil aliens are behind the door. Evil alien or whatever, or babies or jars of samples that they were collecting. I mean, every story's basically got that layout. And the ongoing one just kind of, it's basically, I don't know, I didn't really see much difference between the 3 stories that it actually felt like it was going anywhere new. It just basically, yeah, there's the Halo like space station right there. But I also complain about it's black, white, and blood. It should just be black, white, and red coloring, and they threw green in there. I'm like, okay, green, that's fine. The aliens have green blood, so represent the aliens' blood with the green, and then the red with the humans. But it's like black, white, and blood. So we got black and white imagery with a bunch of green imagery. We got red imagery for background. It's like none of this is flying with me. I think it's ridiculous that you got so much color put into this book when you could have just popped it really nicely with just using the red and green for just the blood. But I mean, here we have orange coming in. Again, we got a group of mercenaries trying to deal with aliens, and they're wiped out. And, well, this is not mercenaries; these are regular farmers and stuff that get attacked in this one, and it's just basic standard story as they all have been. This one, it's like there's hardly any black and white on these pages. It's like a little crazy, but they actually did use some red blood in that one. But the final story is probably my favorite story out of all three books. I can't really remember a story from the other two that stood out to me. But in this third story, we have the space station going through protocol. Everybody's been wiped out except for there's one little kid that was put in a cubby hole and hid by his mother. And the space station computer is called Mother also. And she kind of walks him through, has him go through areas to try and get to an escape pod. And you see what happens while he's being hunted by an alien and he's trying to get to the escape pod, but this one is just so much green to it. Like there is like just I don't know. It just drives me nuts. I was so excited when they started doing these black, white, and blood, and black, white, and red, and black, white, and gold, black, white, and blue. All these different books, and they did a great job with the earlier ones, but these later ones are just falling apart for me. It's like if you want to make a colorized book, make a colorized book, but don't call it a three color style layout or follow the three color style layout and then change it all up. But I got some bigger magazines. This one I could not get into. Just showing it off just because it's just showing up because it's the things I mentioned in the past that we picked up and I was gonna check them out and review them. And you got a bunch of little stories, but you have these characters that are just very depressed, and the stories don't really have any comedic form to them. They're just basically dealing with life's little issues and kind of a character. This character's got the little wavy hair character and cover, I suppose. But this character just I don't know. I don't really get much from him. He's just very drab, just doesn't have much enjoyment in his life. He's always kind of like all the stories just felt like a very depressed but I only checked out parts of each story, hoping that I could find one that would pull me in and have a little enjoyment to it, but goofiness kind of because I expect from these to get the fun Sunday comic cartoon feel from a lot of these, but that one just was not good. We got Marvel Previews presents Bizarre Adventures number 20. These have 4 stories in them. I think they all run that basis, but 4 stories from the past and the future. And yeah, reacquaint myself with it. I love this robot main page imagery, kind of like the robot after the war, standing with the flag, representing winning the battle. But yeah, no humans around. Yeah, story there. Just it was a dark stormy night, and this character kind of flows through all these adventures, and I got excited when I seen this because of the character, the heart on the character's jacket. He's more of a swashbuckler pirate type, but I was thinking, well, hey, this might be like origin of Jack of Hearts or a really early Jack of Hearts story, but we get more. He's known as the Power Broker. And never heard of that before, but that heart on his chest just I was hoping it was a Jack of Hearts style, but feel I get from it's kind of like 007 stylish. Am I? Uh, MS Brain just lost it all, went flat. But he just has that character feel. It goes through a lot of eras and stuff. We go older periods, World War II ish. Jumps all over, but this character just keeps reappearing in them. Didn't really find any enjoyment out of him. I would say that robot that we've seen in the big poster image and on the inside cover, that was probably my favorite story throughout here. We get to see how this robot character is helping in the war, and he just, of course, as usual, everybody's like down on him. It's like be against the robots, the AI units and stuff, because they're going to take over the world, but yet they're doing everything they can to help the military uh, groups that are fighting the battle. And if it wasn't for that robot, more of them would have died instantly. And the robot comes in and does a bunch of stuff, wipes out a bunch of things, and then all of a sudden the war's starting to ease up a little bit. And they're like, yeah, we're going to get rid of you now. We're going to dispose of you. We have no use for you anymore. We're like, we can try you on these different fields. Like, you can go work behind a desk and stuff like that. And the robot's like, I'm programmed for war and to protect. And it's like, that's what I want to do. But yet the military just wants to eliminate that part of the war soldier, non-human soldier part of the aspect of the fighting, and it just depresses the poor robot. And you can imagine where that story goes. But yeah, that was a pretty boring layout. It just didn't really pull me in either. Those stories never really had anything that was heroic or comedic or enjoyable or heartfelt. Just standard war torn stories, people hating people, and robots. But yeah, I was really bummed. I was hoping Jack of Hearts. I found something where Jack of Hearts' first appearance or something like that. The big Marvel event right now is called Blood Hunt. Right now in your comic book shops, I found this yesterday when I went to my buddy's shop. So it must have come out within the past couple weeks. They have Blood Hunt Diaries, which is nice because if you want to know the whole layout of the Blood Hunt run, they have the complete checklist inside the cover, so you can look for what you're hunting for, get the whole story together and stuff. We get a Jed McKay look, question type thing where they do a question and answer thing with Jed McKay and talk about the series run, all that stuff. We get teaser story of the start of the whole Blood Hunt event, which sucks you in. We get Kevin Scott talking about Union Jack in here. I like that they did this too. They show you the Blood Coven. You get to see the different characters, get different feels of the good and the bad characters along the way are different vampire style characters. Cody Ziegler throws in some comments about the whole event that's happening. We get Danny Lore gets into the history of the Dracula Blood Hunt run, which is one I didn't jump on, and also this Wolverine Blood Hunt run were the two that I was considering jumping on, but I'm like, this is going to be such a big event, I'm just going to wait for an omnibus. But now that I got the list and it's not as big as I thought it was going to be, I'm thinking about going back and picking up the things that I missed out on. I am getting the original 5 issues, but I'm getting the red band ones, and they have like extended storyline stuff and some extra bonuses in those. We got Brian Hill talks about the Midnight Suns run. This is well done. And then Jed McKay comes back for talking some more Blood Hunt stuff. But yeah, it's like a lot of cool covers out there for this. If you're into the vampiric style covers, I know that in the recent previews catalog, looks like Morbius is dead in Parker's arms. He's carrying him. So I'm kind of curious what's up with that. Dead, but just Peter usually tries to find a way to help Morbius out and always wants to help him become normally. The guy's wiped out a lot of people in his lifetime and did a lot of bad. But heroes always want to keep everybody alive. All day. People they're keeping alive keep killing off other people. All right, next book. I can't remember what on the ones I opened it, but Buzzard, Cathead Comics Mature. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we get into this one was fun. They have a long going Deadhead story. Parodies of the Grateful Dead. We got Jerry Garcia picture there, and all these just we get a goofy little death story in here. These stories all have some fun play to them. Lots of nudity and stuff like that. Adult situations. I'm trying to find images I can show and stuff. This is a bunch of goofy collage of character pictures, just playing off a bunch of parody and fun stuff. Yeah, gets in their relationship stuff, gets in this life stuff, and it just has that adult goofiness feel to it. And it's just, this one I didn't mind. I like it when it gets, there's a lot of these I can't show in this one. Or I shouldn't show. It's got like adult Mad Comics feel to it. You have your little picture things with little storylines on it, just talking about different things that you know from life or from history and stuff like that. And just, yeah. They say it's harnessing Cathead World Entertainment Group, harnessing the chaos while you lounge around in your bath. But yeah, I like the more Mad magazine style, parody style, goofy ones. Again, this one also is Centrifugal Bumble-Puppy. Got a lot of different creators. Most of these got a variety of creators throughout them. This is the magazine that laughs in the face of the law of supply and demand. Artwork by Gilbert Hernandez, John Callahan, Michael Dugan, J.R. Williams, Matthew Finch, Jerzy Zostek, Lloyd Dangle. I wonder if he's related to Dangle from Reno 911. Got Craig Bartlett, Steve LaFleur, Jim Sergi, Ted Blackman, and Ron K. White. I know a few of those names, but this one again. Lots of goofy parodies of life and beyond. I like this storyline with the werewolf band members rocking it out, and all kinds of goofiness going on with them. Yeah, guy that's basically being kidnapped, taken out in the desert, tortured, things he's done. Yeah. Old school, I can't really say it's not. It's more like a sad sack style than Beetle Bailey with an adult theme to it. But you got your military style storyline going on there where the sergeant's going crazy over the three guys and their names and trying to get them started out in basic. Uh, Started out in the military and they end up doing a bunch of things and they get through the basic training part of the military and go off to whatever, they go off to their next big event, and then he ends up going off too, and then he ends up finding that his new recruits are his old recruits again, and they're back to annoy him even more. But yeah, that one wasn't too bad. Has that Crumb feel to it, which I'm mentioning because they have the complete Crumb comics on advertised on the back. Excuse me, got the hiccups going on here all of a sudden. I got a few of these that I picked up recently. Gold Key comics that I picked up. And I got Harlem Globetrotters. I loved these when I was younger. My grandpa had some. I came across some throughout the years, and it's just first storyline is basically our Harlem Globetrotters going on a cruise to go off to a basketball event that they're going to deal with. Of course, I got to be careful because the cover is pretty worn to the point it's kind of dangling on there. But a bunch of events. They make their captain of their ship makes a deal with the captain of another ship that's kind of just your uh, standard coal boat that's just like hauls stuff around the seas other than people. And they make a bet to see who's going to get to their destination first. And while they do, the evil boat captain sends some of his flunkies to go do some damage to the cruise ship. And they start out by causing some water damage to try and make them think. And the Globetrotters, well, Curly kind of overhears some things and catches them. And so he runs off to get some help. And they fix the things as they keep getting. Uh, as they keep getting none of the words want to come out today. As they keep getting sabotaged. Thankfully, the Globetrotters are on the boat and they get to help out and stop the sabotage. And then they get to their main basketball game destination, but they still got to go further. But the ships have a deal where they have to both go to port, let them do the game, and then they'll get back for the cruise challenge to see who can get to their final destination first. But we get the Globetrotters playing in a surfboard basketball game on surfboards on the ocean, and it's just as goofy as the standard Harlem Globetrotter game. All the fun tricks and stuff throughout it. It was a really enjoyable story. I'm not going to give away who wins. You can imagine, but or how they win. But I give a lot of teasers away. But I know this is a gold key comic, and probably not going to find it anyways. But teasers, Globetrotters always win in the end. Usually, I don't think I've ever seen them lose in the end. I love that they have this Go Namath advertisement for the old vibrating electric football game. I still got ours somewhere around here. It's, you just basically line up all your characters, turn it on, and then the machine would kind of like vibrate, and you just watch dude just doing little circles. You have like one player in a corner just doing circles and stuff. You'd have a couple players that would connect to each other, and they'd sit there and just start dancing around in circles, just vibrating around circles. It never really played out well, but it was fun back in the day. Just it was high technology for us back then. Yeah, with the battle too. One of the times, the bad captain sends a big crate full of some type of scent that makes animals go wild, and all the animals from the ocean were coming towards that scent, and Globetrotters send it back towards the ship, and all of a sudden whales and stuff start falling in love with their boat. Then we got the Monkey Marvels, where our characters go to another country and for an event, and the people that want to do bad harm to them, want to harm the event and stuff, make it so the Globetrotters end up taking a really long time to get to the event, and they're going to be all wore out by the time they get to the event. And then we find out when they get to the event that they are playing against a team of monkeys. And you can just imagine how goofy the monkeys are while they're playing, along with the Globetrotters, how they play. And yeah. And, and you get that they do focus a lot on the bucket of water, even though it's different types of things than the standard old Harlem Globetrotters. If you ever went to a Harlem Globetrotters basketball game, I was to probably a half a dozen or so of them. In my childhood, we even got the Globetrotters came to our school once to play, and we live in a village. So that shows you how far the Globetrotters would go to get themselves a game, because we just live in a small town village, and I think our population right now is like 1,500 people or something like that. And they came and put on an awesome event. And I could have swore that we'd always have a donkey basketball game where you rode donkeys and played basketball. I could have swore they came and played a donkey basketball game at our school too, also one time. And then I seen them a couple times down in Milwaukee for when they played the bigger events. They played against the Bucks, I believe, once, and one other team that I seen them play against. But yeah, it was always very enjoyable. I loved watching that. But the bucket thing, if you know the Globetrotters, you know the bucket where they sit there and take the bucket full of this, basically the spit bucket, the water bucket that you have on the sideline, and I think it was Curly that always did it, and would run around and take the bucket, and threaten to throw it at someone, and then he turns and turns toward the crowd and throws it, and it's all confetti that comes out of the bucket. And I don't care how many times they did it, you always jumped. You always thought you were getting hit with water, even though you knew that it was full of confetti. But they played it out so well that they teased you up. This Harley Quinn Holiday Special. This is part of the new 52 run back in the day. So that might be why I don't have it, but usually I pick up all the holiday specials, especially if Harley Quinn's in it. But I don't remember the story. And it's our first story in here is basically Harley Quinn's reproducing too many damn animals. It's like a ton of puppies and kittens because she just would not give the animals up and she kept them. And her roommate's like, no, this ain't happening. We got to get rid of them. You can't have all these animals around. So they make a deal where they're going to go to a shopping district and sit there and help everybody to their car to put their goods away. And then everybody that sounds like a good, humane person, they'd throw a couple animals in a bag in their car, and so that way when they got home they'd be like, oh, we got a puppy or a kitten and we're stuck with it now. So that was their method of getting good homes for the animals. And Harley feels bad about the one pug that she gives away, so she sneaks into the people's house. She finds out their address and stuff and plays with the pug for a little bit, gets wore out, and falls asleep on the floor by the Christmas tree. Well, this little girl's a little evil little shit because her mom passed and stuff happened, and she's like tortures her dad, and they buy her a ton of presents, hoping she'll be happy, make up for her mom passing. And she sees Harley, and she's like, "Oh, that's the best gift ever! I got myself a free friend." And uh, there's a beautiful Billy Tucci uh, print there, image there, and yeah, that's you can just imagine what happens with Harley being a little girl's toy and how she twists and turns everything around and makes the story a nice holiday event. And then our second story, we have Harley Quinn, who just so happens to get a humbug in her ear. On Christmas Eve, the humbugs come to life 2 days, and they crawl into an ear and just sing Christmas music. And it gets stuck in her ear, and it's a fun little animated style. Uh, I wouldn't really say manga, I'd say anime more style story, but fun. She has this music in her ear, it's driving her nuts, and so she does a bunch of things, and she finds out why she has that singing in her ear and how to deal with it. I can't give those things away because it's too new of a comic. You'll have to definitely find that out for yourself. Billy Tucci imagery that's awesome in here and stuff. But yeah, this was really fun as all the holiday ones usually are. And then going back to the big ones, we got Warner Brothers presents Looney Tunes, which this was a nice little haunted Halloween issue where you get a lot of these were always fun because you get a lot of different you got loony lines where they're just answering questions from the fans. You got different little things you can do and check out. That's the English Tasmanian Devil Dictionary. It's like blarg means who's for dinner. Gar means no more buffaloes, please. I'm on a diet. Growl means I've got a 2x4 stuck between my teeth. Mrr means pass the sweet and sour mousse, please. Rogue means do you taste better raw or cooked? Yeah. And then you get how to draw Tasmanian devil, how to doodle it, doodling things. Wile E. Coyote has some magician's secrets. And then you get a nice little Quackbusters story. Kind of a Ghostbuster style. Yeah, Daffy all Ghostbuster outfitted up because Bugs Bunny's messing with Elmer Fudd as usual. I love this centerpiece they give you. Instead of Beetlejuice parody, you get carrot juice. That's an awesome little poster there in the thing. You get, of course, seeing as it is Halloween, we gotta have Witch Hazel's. And she gets into different secret spooky sounds and how you can make your own spooky wind chimes and all this stuff. We get a Foghorn Leghorn answers a bunch of Halloweenish style questions and stuff in here. Bad to read too much of this stuff. Like, Jack-o'-lantern legend comes from Ireland. It tells of a no-good hombre named Jack, who was about as popular as a chicken hawk in a henhouse. In the end, Jack was forced to walk the earth forever, carrying a hollowed-out old lantern. I'll say. I think I seen a chicken hawk. Yeah, Disaster Piece Theaters presents The Legend of Creepy Hollow, a fun little story in here. Daffy Duck tells us we get to go around the world in a haze with Speedy Gonzales. I just love that character. Get some fun little interesting things from him in this issue. We got Yosemite Sam's Way Out West. Kind of shows you how to build your own totem pole. Gives you some things you can do with regular household items. We got Elmer Fudd's Weight Mysteries. There he goes around the world telling you about different things. Like, I'm here on Wachnes. A wach is just a Scottish inwet or wake. Scientists have used telescopes, sonar, and submarines to whack down Nessie the monster with no success. And then you have Porky's punchlines in the back. What does Tweety need when he catches a cold? Tweetman. Daffy says, what's the worst weather for mice? Speedy says, when it's raining cats and dogs. Wile E. Coyote says, with this invention, I can see through walls. Bugs Bunny says, what is it? Wile E. Coyote says, a window. Stupid little normal goofy kid stuff. But it makes me laugh. And let's see, what do we got left here? Yeah, we can get through these, I think. It's going to be a longer episode. We got Marvel. This is Year in Review 92. This is laid out nicely to get you caught up on all kinds of stuff that's happening. They give you an event timeline for 1992. What's happening? We get a little Ant-Man history in here. And a lot of it has fun, goofy jokes along with what you're learning about the characters. This is, I can't remember. I think that gets into more of the movie lines and stuff. All your characters. You got Doctor Doom doing some cooking stuff. Human Torch. Yeah, lots of parody stuff in here. I like this where they have the fakes, the fangs, and fabrications. They go through a variety of different characters, explaining history about them and stuff, while also doing little question answer segments. Like there we got Matt Murdock. I love how they call these guys the stuffed animals. Yep. Like everything's just a bunch of parodies. You find out stuff about characters I don't even know who they are. We got Octo Octavius in here doing a question answer thing. Uh, Superheroes that should go to jail. Super Poop Scoop. And one different losers. Characters that apparently didn't make it that far. Uh, we got Iron Man doing a strip tease. But yeah, these were fun. Anthony Stark finally dead, dissecting his body, uh, giving you the breakdown. Little Mighty Marvel matchups. Little matchups you always wanted to see. Yeah, this is definitely a lot of bang for your buck back in the day. A lot of different character crossover stuff, parody stuff. We got Monstrous, Book of the Dead, another 50 center that the wife picked up. Number 104. I was like, yeah, I'm not really into the emo tap style stuff. But this one has a fun crossover with a lot of other creatures. So it definitely pulled me in. You got our two mummy-ish style characters, male and female, that are basically trying to cause all kinds of issues. And while they're traveling through these different times, kind of like timelines. I don't know if they're time zones. And here's a interesting little when they're traveling through the different dimensions. So you have the giant crocodile like creature going on here. They're going through the mouth of the character, and they got all these types of snaky worm type things that grab them and pull them in, and then they keep going to these different places, and everywhere they go, they keep running into these different characters and creatures and stuff, the werewolves. And it's just they're basically on the hunt for the Book of the Dead, and while they're doing it, they are just going through all kinds of trippy chaos, and it was actually pretty fun. I'm gonna have to look for the last three issues now and see what happens to our characters. But you get to, if you know any of the history and lore of those style characters, you'll know the different types of gods that they are part of those environments, and you get to see different things with them. Different those appear throughout the storyline. Also, we got Mortal Terror, which I think this is the penultimate, possibly. This is number 3. I think this is supposed to be a 4-issue run. Could have been a 5. I'm not sure, but it's basically it's hard for me to lay out who's who with my MS brain because my brain is so used to the original stories. So every time I'm reading the characters, I'm thinking of them the way they were then, not the way they are in here. Because it's the story of Dracula, big time Renfield stuff in here, which I really like. Uh, and we get to see what Lucy, Mina, Harker, all the different characters. But in this world, it's a twist. Like Dracula and them are I'm pretty sure Dracula. Everybody, the ones that are supposed to be vampires are humans. The ones that are supposed to be humans are vampires in this storyline and stuff. And it just, yeah, it's all kinds of twists. But I really like the way they did twist it up. Uh, Renfield's got a big, big chunk of our story in here, and he's just trying to get to Dracula and get to where he wants to be. He apparently, which one is it? One of the three sisters of Dracula. Huh? No. In here, they're sisters. They aren't brides. That's why I'm saying it's hard for me to explain this story because everything's twisted in this one, but it's way better than the original Dracula. Uh, but in this, the three, what would, like my wife said, my wife, the brides in the original Dracula are now in this one his sisters. And one of them dated or was married to Renfield at one time. And then he was punished and put in prison and all this stuff. But yeah, it's fun seeing the unique twists and turns in here and giving you a whole different side, making everybody on the opposite sides see how they deal with having to deal with that type of uh, lifestyle and stuff and where they'd go. And then we got, actually, I wanted to mention too, I've been terrible today about mentioning people on this one. We got Christopher Golden, Tim Levin, Peter Bergting, and Chris O'Halloran. Halloran's the only name I know in here. I was thinking Dr. A. Stoker was playing part of that storyline. He's on the other two stories. We got Phoebe and the Pigeon People. And yeah, that's what they are. They're the Pigeon People. They are throughout this book. Dave Lynch and Gary Whitney. Right down back there. Uh, Vitreous humor and steel-belted radial satires on such subjects as metaphysical anxiety, existential nausea, new wave mysticism, jazz hounds, pop stars, politics, and much, much more. 87 complete comic strips in this ultra hypness-filled issue, gang. Yeah, it's basically that. It's like very much a Mad Magazine style layout with all the different short stories, and then just look at all those, and you get so many different stories. And these Pigeon People are throughout all of them, and they do parody a lot of stuff, and just just like Mad, you got your political, you got your standard life issues, all that. Just fast ticket in there. Someone left, but yeah, it's pretty much laid out throughout the whole book like that, where you get like 3 storylines per page. That's how you get so many different ones. But you get the hippie, you get the beatnik styles, all the jazz styles, political styles, parodies, all that different stuff in here. And this one wasn't too bad. I mean, most of the stories are but yeah, there were a few that made me laugh. Then we got Quick Stops Volume 2, Number 3. The story's getting pretty trippy. If you follow any of the Quick Stop stories, the first volume I could have swore each issue was a different story from the Kevin Smith world. And this one's sticking with the movie story. We're finding out about how movie came to be, who the artist was, how he became a fast food popularity. In the first couple stories, we find out how our girl is a reporter gal is sitting down with a lady who is now older, and she's telling the story of how movie became. and what happened throughout it. And this one gets pretty dark, this issue. And we start out, just going to give you teasers from the first two issues, not give you the teasers out of this issue. Kevin Smith and Ahmad Rafat, Andrew Thomas working on this one. But we find out that a girl and her boyfriend kind of come up with the movie idea. A corporation wants to take it over. It starts out because a kid in school is being bullied for being overweight and stuff like that, and his teacher helps him out, and she's the one who's with the boyfriend who come up with the idea about movie. That makes the kid happy. The kid's mother's like, well, we've been trying to get him happy for how long and get him through these things, and since you were able to do it with movie, you wanted to take movie and turn it into a franchise. And so she starts working a deal with them. All of a sudden, it becomes a whole montage, or whole little relationship between all three parties. And things happen where things go bad and people try and steal things and all that stuff. But yeah, if you like the Kevin Smith lore and you want to find out way more information about those stories that we've heard about, this is the way to go. And these are so well done. But yeah, black and white comics, standard artwork, lots of fun. All right, we got Savage Dragon issue 1 from Image Comics. I thought I had this. Now I got a bunch of this volume, but apparently I didn't have issue 1, so I'm glad I picked this one up because of the nice centerpiece in there. But this is basically Savage Dragon starting out dealing with his baddies and getting to this, to him becoming part of the police organization, finding out what happened, him being found with flames all around him. Police take him in, kind of train him in ways the chief works with him to get him to become a police officer. He's like, oh, I'm going to have to go to a bunch of police academy style training. And they're like, no, 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 we need you now. We got all kinds of baddies that are causing problems. And that's how he gets started with the organization. And it's fun look into it. I've seen that layout of that storyline, multiple different directions. It's probably one of the better ways to do it. This one didn't have so much like pounding everything on you, just dumping a whole backstory line and all that, and wasting half the comic on that. This one had lots of things happening throughout the first issue, so it's very explosive, enjoyable first issue, and that was fun. Image Comics, Eric Larson, of course, Chris Eliopoulos, Gregory Wright, and Janie Wong working on that one. Then our final one is Van Helsing Vampire Hunter, issue 3. I love this story because we got Liesl. She knows these other vampire hunters, but they're brought in. This is the final issue, so it's like I don't want to give too much away from this one. But when members of her own team get turned by Dracula's most infamous lieutenant, Liesl Van Helsing must embrace the darkness to free her former allies from the curse of the undead, all while preventing a much larger vampiric horde from claiming any more victims. Our characters here are dealing with the battles while they're trying to get Liesl to where she needs to be and get this all settled. And I don't want to go too deep into it, show away imagery, but yeah, there's all kinds of battling going on. Final issue, of course. We got our vampires and our vampire hunters in a big clash. Liesel's pretty much out of commission. She's got like a huge. Her back is pretty much ripped open from a vampire attack, and she's dealing with a bunch of stuff. That, and at the same time, trying to help everybody else while they're being attacked. And all kinds of things happen, and I just don't want to give it away. But if you like the vampire hunter style story, this is one of my favorite looks into it. I'd really like to see some back history of these characters, see some earlier battles that they might have worked on with Liesel and stuff, or see something in the future. But that was a lot of fun. Pretty decent pile. Went twice as long as I planned. I could have easily split this into two reviews, but what the heck? Get it out of the way, and that way I can get some more reading in and get some more stuff done. So, yeah, that's it for now. Uh, Mr. Rigamortis86 gave me an awesome shout out the other day with he's giving away some interesting stuff to help promote my page, which I really appreciate. So check out his stuff on YouTube. And he's got a lot of awesome videos of showing stuff that he's categorizing, straightening up, going through stuff he got picked up or sent to him or whatever, unpacking and stuff like that, all kinds of things. And he also uses an editing program and throws some fun stuff in there, whereas someday I'll figure out my editing program that I bought, or I'll just have to go back to the one that I had to pay monthly or something like that. I don't know. I just can't figure out this new one I got. I think it's made more for small imagery and video stuff instead of bigger videos. I'll keep playing with it, see what happens. But yeah, check that out. That was awesome of them. And keep following Crimson Color Comic Club, Under the Color of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, like, and we will get back to you with more stuff sometime soon. All right, bye.